We're here at Photokina 2018 at the Camera Rescue booth. We're here with Sam and his Solarcan, which, if people haven't heard, is a can with photographic paper inside and a very small pinhole on the side. Thought about, attaching to lampposts and street and things like that, and capturing the trails of the sun throughout the year. Exactly. If I'm not wrong.
Exactly.
So Sam, tell us about the project a little bit.
Well, well, it's called Solarcan, as you alluded to. Why do you think it's called Solarcan?
Because it uses the sun, I'm guessing, and it's in a can.
And because
capturing the sun in the can.
Yeah, it's in a 440ml drinks soda can, people call it. So I'll just tell you exactly what it does first, because a lot of people are a little bit perplexed and confused. I like to say it's the most simple camera that is available in the whole world. You can't really get more simple than this. And we'll come to that, why it's so simple, because it doesn't look necessarily simple. It has photographic paper inside it, all installed, all ready to go. It comes like this in a package with an instruction book as well. And you install it somewhere outside, south facing, if you're in the northern hemisphere, because you want to face the sun. And you peel off the black tab that's here. This is your lens cap, if you like, and put it somewhere safe on the can. And you tie it up with some cable ties.
That come included,
Nice. You tie it up to maybe a lamppost or your drain pipe, or you set it on your windowsill, or
your balcony, anything like that.
Yeah, the more experimentative you are, the better, is in my opinion. And you leave it there. You leave it there for a day, a week, a month, a year, and that's your exposure time. So it's an extreme time exposure camera. Not to be confused with time lapses.
Yeah.
For the uninitiated.
One thing is well, you can see it in the can. Yeah. You actually have like a very similar pattern, which is the logo of the brand. But you can see the solar here, and depending on how long it is, the more it passes the sun, and depending on the time of the year, it's higher or lower.
Yeah, what I like to say is the longer exposure time you have, the better. But if you're confused, and a lot of people still will be confused, we've got some images that come in the Solarcan booklet, which I can share with you from the community, because we like to share images from the community. And these are the sort of images
you can get
that you're able to create.
Quick question: you say community. Where are you guys using for a community? Instagram,
mostly
Flickr?
Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, virtually almost Twitter and Instagram. I use Flickr to upload pictures for perhaps retailers would like to explain things like that. So downloadable images. But yeah. So how does it work exactly? What are these lines? The lines are the path of the sun. So, for example, this picture here by Billy Ray, it would have been a 6-month exposure. And the lowest point there would have been the winter solstice. So December the 21st, she would have installed the Solarcan. And for 6 months, she would have left it there. And it would have gone off the top of the frame here because she hadn't tilted it up. And at the top, you would have been hitting the summer solstice. And every single line you see here is a day, a different day.
And it moves that much every day?
Well, yeah. So it rises, the sun rises in the east.
No, but I mean the difference in height
is
daily.
Absolutely.
You would think like a few days would be pretty close to maybe burn the same line.
Yeah, well, there's almost, you'll see gaps.
Well, that's cloudy
are these gaps?
days.
Cloudy days, yeah. You'll see some lines that are dotted. That's overcast there, the day that the sun's coming in and out. And you can see this is repeated across all the different images. So, and there's lots of different ways you can use a Solarcan as well. You can install it sideways, upside down, on something that's moving.
Can you create a pinhole image? Because a lot of people do pinhole, or is the pinhole very small and it's more meant for solar photography?
This pinhole that's in this is a 0.4mm pinhole size. There have been experiments where people will put it in a room that's not directly affected by the sun, so there's no...
So it can be used for solar.
It's not so effective. It's not so effective because the photographic paper that's inside, we're not concerned with the latent image. And by latent, I mean the image that's hidden in the photographic paper. Now we're going to get slightly technical here. When we talk about film photography, we usually have to invoke chemicals at some point.
But now, not with this.
Not with this. So chemicals usually bring out image from photographic paper or photographic film. But here we're creating a sort of hack.
Kind of burning it.
Yeah, we're hacking the photo paper by not using it the way you're meant to be using it. The sun is burning a line across the photographic paper.
Okay.
And
I knew about it. It was a
image.
question I was going to do. I was like, I knew it didn't require developing. I was like, I understand the longer exposure maybe burned it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, and it doesn't fade away.
No. The line will burn. So a sun will cross the path of the photographic paper in a single day and create a single line. So we'll take that photographic paper out of the Solarcan in subdued light, not necessarily a dark room. Actually, you don't really have to use a dark room at all. And you'll take a photograph using your iPhone or your camera
Scanner.
or a scanner, and then you'll invert that image, and then you'll get your picture. There are some instructions that come inside.
Because of course it's black and white paper, but it looks colorful because I guess it comes like that.
Yeah, black and white paper has all sorts of different hues and tones. Depends on the sort of photographic paper
If you leave
use.
a piece of black and white paper on the table, it always turns kind of purple-ish.
Exactly,
at least the
purple.
one I use.
Yeah, purple.
Like a pink purple hue.
Yeah,
Okay.
It'll turn that the longer it comes out. So we'll talk about what happens when you take it down after you've taken your photograph, because I understand some people will still be confused, which is so ironic because of how simple it is. So you take your Solarcan down, and use a standard tin opener that you open your baked bean tins with, and you can open the top.
Okay.
So you won't be able to get the paper out of the
little hole with the little straw.
Yeah, you won't be able to get it like that. You've got to cut round it, and then you take your paper out. You don't have to be worried about being in your living room or your bedroom with the light that you've got
no
there.
dark room required.
There's no dark room required, no dark bag required. And you take your Solargraph, your Solarcan image.
Which is a 5x7 piece of paper.
5x7 Ilford paper we use at the moment. Pop it down on your table, and then you can do as you want with it. You take a photo of it, and then you pop it back into
somewhere dark, maybe. Or
yeah. You can pop it back in here, put the lid back on, or pop it back in your tube that comes with it, and you're set. And then you've got your digital image now because you've transferred it into
digital media.
Yeah, and you can share it on Instagram and get 100,000 likes. Or hearts, or
pretty cool,
or whatever.
Or whatever it has, thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs ups. Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically the how it works and everything. So you started this. I remember seeing it on Kickstarter. You went step by step. It's probably a side thing for you. I'm sure it's not your main. Or are you working on this full time now?
I've just come out of a.
You were studying it all.
Yeah, a master's at Edinburgh University, material science. So nothing to do with photography at all, although I took my photography knowledge and skills into that master's, as you do with a master's. So that was a really exciting time working with all sorts of different materials, but that's nothing to do with Solarcan. But they all understood that I had that as a background. So I started Solarcan in December 2016, and I knocked together some sort of prototypes. I call them prototypes, with beer cans that were so awful from the local supermarket, the cheapest ones, because all I needed was the can.
Yeah, you wanted the can.
Yeah, I wanted the can to strip away, open up, put the photographic paper in and test it, see if this idea worked. And I made a bunch and I gave them away as Christmas presents. And I thought, these could sell. So I made a bunch more and put them on Etsy.
Okay.
Nobody wanted them. Absolutely, and I refused to believe nobody wanted them. I thought, no, the world's wrong here. Maybe it's not the right marketplace. So I set about creating a commercial item that had a nice appearance, that looked good, that people would be proud, that people would want to see. They wouldn't be quite sure what it does, but they'd want to hold it. And that's how the Solarcan came about. It took about 4 months to get to that stage.
Yeah, I follow the path through the Kickstarter campaigns and all that. The price is very inexpensive, which I think is a great.
It's £12.
It's £12, all included, so you don't need anything else. You don't need we said darkroom, changing bag, darkroom, or chemistry. All you need is this and have fun.
Yeah, that's
and find somewhere. One thing to note that I thought was interesting is the fact that the pinhole is here. You have to load the paper exactly so there's a slit where there's no paper. If not, there wouldn't be any exposure. And are you getting a lot of people that are young, maybe never used photography in a traditional way? Because I wouldn't call this a traditional way to take pictures. But
there are a lot of talking points of what the Solarcan is and where its place is in the industry. It's a great entry place for young people, or perhaps older people who've never used film photography before, who really want to discover that sort of thing. So they'll know they'll be getting a film photography camera, they'll know it's inexpensive, and they know they'll learn something in the process. Mm-hmm. And I like to say, although I try not to turn this into a tagline, that it's as much as an experience as it is a camera. So you can't go wrong. As long as you're trying it out and seeing what happens, you're learning something in the process. When you take the photographic paper out, if you've got an image that you'd expect, or if you've got something completely unexpected or weird, you can work your way back and try and find out how that happened and what these lines are, what the slightly dimmer parts, maybe the buildings or the trees in the backgrounds, where they are, and start to understand how light works, how optics works, how photography works, how a pinhole works, how photographic paper works.
No, it's a good starting point and a very inexpensive way to have some fun. I'm sure I'm gonna get some for my kids and put it in the terrace and try to get that sun, because they see it happening, but they don't understand the difference in light when it's dark, because during winter, I put them to bed and it's dark. In summer, I put them to bed, it's light, and they don't want to go to bed. So they'll understand that when they see the lines, and you can tell this is winter. Oh, that's why the sun was low.
Makes sense.
It's a good way to explain things like that. Definitely, I'm going to check it out. I'm very excited about the project. Anything else you want to add, Sam, about Solarcan?
Yeah, well, what you alluded to there, talking about the sun going higher or lower. I've always struggled finding my place in the world, personally. I'm somewhere between an artist, an astronomer, and a photographer.
Okay.
So I've worked in all industries professionally. What I was doing before the Solarcan came about was I was worked in astronomy environment, and I wanted to do something that encapsulated all three of them.
Well, it is astronomy,
it's art. Absolutely, because you have to learn about astronomy and understand, well, which way do I face it? Face the path of the sun.
Do I put it sideways? Do I put it this way? Do I put it up so it gets the whole image?
And then that's where your art comes in. So you're starting to be creative, and you'll find you'll have a product to the end of it, but then you can do what you want with that. And the more creative you are, and I think people strive to be the most creative or the most different, or how can I make this something that nobody's done before? And people are still coming up with fantastic things.
No, I've said the booklet looks amazing.
The solar eclipse one was fantastic.
What's the hashtag? It's Solarcan?
Hashtag Solarcan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for coming here and talking about the Solarcan. I follow the project along in the news, and I think people that viewed the videos saw it. I hope to see more out of Solarcan. I will be getting some. Hope you have a great fair, and thanks for being with us here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.